Go ahead, anyone.
Okay, we're recording. Thomas has a slideshow for us on his 1 year anniversary. Thank you for coming to this meeting. And let me turn it over with that to Thomas Boyd of Annandale Apps. Go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not really a presentation as such. Of just it's yeah, it's a slideshow that's on the screen right now. So don't really need to be bothered about that. Um, so anyone, questions?
I don't know if people can talk that are on the phone. I think everyone's in a place they can't talk, so I'll have to ask questions if no one else does. We can type questions though too, if you can't turn on your mic. Or your webcam. But one question that David always asks is, how did you find out about how did you find out about BuzzTouch, Thomas?
Um, right. This is actually kind of something that stumps me all the time. Um, it started off as website designing. Um, and I just kind of explored after that, uh, where to go. And I thought apps, brilliant. I can make websites. That's fine. What about apps? So I opened up Xcode because when I make my websites, I just kind of use it as a WYSIWYG designer. Um, so there's no kind of code in it. Opened up Xcode, pressed the new application thing, and then I kind of got greeted with this kind of page of where loads of code was going to be. So I thought, that's not going to be very good. Um, so then I kind of looked around the internet, looked for app builders, and from that, um, I found so many before I found BuzzTouch. But when I found BuzzTouch, I just thought it was going to be like the others. Um, so I kind of joined, then kind of ignored it, then came back about 3 weeks later, tried it out, and then before I knew it, I had a test app, a one that I was going to kind of pitch to Blenheim Palace. I never have pitched to Blenheim Palace, um, but uh, but I kind of made a version 1.5 app, and I got familiar with it, and then it was so flexible. I just loved it, and that's kind of how I found it. I just was googling all the time to find it, and then so I mean that was in November, nearly 2 years ago now, so
Mhm.
quite a long time.
Oh, that's great. That's great, Thomas. And you had a slide that said that you're 14. You're only 14.
Yeah,
Well, I say you're only
yeah,
14, but it's all like relative. Most people making apps are older than 14. Um,
yeah,
so that's really cool. So you must be like a high school student then, right?
yeah, yeah,
Where do you go to
yeah.
school?
Go to school in Oxford.
In Oxford. Okay.
I'm actually in Woodstock, just outside Oxford, about 10 miles out of Oxford.
Oh.
Um, but yeah, I really enjoy it there.
Hmm. Hmm. Do any of your friends make apps or websites?
No, they're just kind of like, yeah, right, you're gonna make an app. I'd like to see that happen. And then I come out with an app, and they're kind of stunned. Um, so yeah, it's really fun seeing their reactions because like some of them are like really techy. They're like kind of saying, "Look at this! I've made it my website. It's got sliders, interactive sliders, all of that stuff.
Well, that was my
I'm learning."
experience too, because I worked in a corporation, and all of a sudden I said, "Well, here's my app. It's on the App Store," and people were going,
Yeah, yeah,
"You have an app on the App Store?" And the people in IT said, "Wow, you got an app on the App Store?" And back then it was
yeah.
harder. Now it's a little easier because they have all the app builder things. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask a
Yeah, I mean,
question from Mr.
I've
David here
never
too.
revealed the secret to my friends.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
Um,
why our community is so important because we have to, like, we can't find people to relate to very well. But that's why Thomas and me are friends, even though I'm 3 times his age or 4 times his age, and we live across the whole world from each other. We're friends, right?
there's a lovely
We have so much in
community.
common.
BuzzTouch is a lovely community. That's what you do with BuzzTouch. You make friends.
Mhm. Mr. David has a question that says, what kind of trouble did you encounter with your age? Did you have to hide that from clients and customers?
Pardon, what was that?
It's a, what kind of trouble did you encounter with your age? Did you have to hide your age from your clients and customers?
Oh, right. Um, it's a tricky one because I've never actually done it for clients yet. Um,
Mhm.
the yesterday I was caught up in a meeting with these other app developers who kind of want to buy my Woodstock app um, because they were paid to make a Woodstock app, and because Woodstock isn't that big, it's only a population of about 2,000 people, and it's a tourist town. We've kind of all agreed that it would be stupid if a second app came out. So they kind of want to buy mine out. Of course, they do know um, my age, and that's kind of, in a way, a little bit disappointing because um, it means that they're going to try and bargain it down because of the age. So yes, I do have a little bit of trouble, but I just try and be as honest as possible, to be honest.
Hey, Sil. Can you talk, Sil? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, so you said that that you couldn't sell the app due to your age, or
No, it's just that to be honest, I just view myself as a quite techie person, and this is just kind of where it starts. Um, I don't think my age, to be honest, matters. I think for this negotiating deal where they're going to try and buy my app, I think it will. But at the end of the day, I've got the power, and if they try and buy it off for nothing or nearly nothing, then I'm the one who makes the final decision and says no at the end of the day. So it doesn't make anything different. I've been going around businesses kind of asking if they want to be part of my Woodstock app, and the age is kind of actually a benefit because they kind of feel, oh look, kid can do this, why can't we? So we'll just kind of get this kid and stuff like that. But then of course I do need to fit it around schoolwork, which is getting more and more tricky for me.
Mhm.
so why do you think the Woodstock app is more popular than your other apps? Because they look similar. They look, not similar, but they have the same, nice design and.
Okay, well, my other apps are done for my dad's business, Berlitz, and it's it's for his students. The Berlitz is a language school. Um, it's a massive corporation with language schools around the world. He's got three in Britain, and I've made apps for two of them. He's not wanting an app for his third. Um, and these are basically apps for his students who comes to his school. The so my Woodstock one is public. I'm trying to drum up as many downloads as possible, and it is truly my app. It's not my dad's app or something like that. And it is it's definitely got it's getting a much higher download rate because simply Woodstock is to the public, and my Berlitz ones are to they're just to my dad's students, and there's not. I mean, I counted it up, and there's about combined there's about 700 downloads of my Berlitz ones.
There's a question in the chat room from GadgetWorks. Have you been making money on your apps? Or are they all free?
Right, so my Berlitz ones, my first two, no, but my new Woodstock one is kind of the one to try and get pocket money out of, because that I'm going around businesses, shops and restaurants, asking them whether they want a page in my app. You know, if you've downloaded the app, you'll know that there's a map and it's got lots of pins.
Oh yeah.
And a pin, as you know, could have an arrow on it, and this arrow can link to any other page. And this is what I'm doing. And I've actually just been out. The reason why I'm like 2 or 3 minutes late to this is because I've just been out and I've just come back from getting this getting a restaurant on board. So yeah, I've just kind of been out.
So they are paying you for
Yes.
okay.
I think the basic deal is that if you want a website and telephone, it's on the pin is £49, so about $80.
Is that for a year or is that just permanently?
Um,
Is that permanently or
That's
is that
for
online or is
the
that
end of,
that's for
it's up to
forever, right?
it's up to the end of 2014.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Um,
Yeah, you know, when you're that age, you're really just trying to learn more than you're trying to make a living.
I'm trying to learn and get a bit of pocket money, and it's it's to me it's just a lot more interesting going around, you know, doing lawn mowing for other people or washing the cars or whatever. You know, it's just what I like doing, and lawn mowing isn't what I like doing.
Hmm. Another question on here is, are you strictly iOS or are you Android too?
Ah, right. Okay. The basic answer to that question, let me just put it, is I'm an iOS developer, but it's more tricky than that. I started out as iOS because, first of all, I am just an Apple fan. You know, there are Apple fans, and then there's me. Um, um, so I just love Apple. So naturally, I started out on iPhone, and I haven't really explored the possibility of Android. Um, with my Woodstock app, I have got it planned that I am making a Android version. I don't know how I'm going to do that because I've used the BTA design menu, and I don't know how to, you know, I mean, that plugin isn't on Android, and that's the one that I crucially need. But I'm sure there'll be some way of, I mean, I'm gonna have to get a Woodstock version of my app out there. So that
Yeah.
will be another massive learning curve for me,
Hmm.
probably the biggest since last year.
One thing that you guys might not know about Thomas is that he translated our strings files for the apps into, I'm blanking what language was it? Was it Thai?
It was Thai, yeah.
So you speak some Thai, right?
I can write it.
Oh, you can write it, but you can't speak it.
I only know like 1 or 2 phrases
Oh, okay.
to say. I think I only sent you the iOS one, didn't I? I kind of gave up on the Android one.
Oh, yeah, you owe me that. No, that's
Yeah.
okay. We'll get to it. It's kind of just a little bit in the back burner, but I really think BuzzTouch really needs to be able to internationalize apps. It can't be so U.S.
Mm.
centric, and it has to be
Yeah.
multilingual. And
Yeah.
one thing to do is to make that easier for people and translating those strings files. But there's so many things to do at BuzzTouch, so I haven't pressured people to translate.
Yeah.
I also don't know how many people are downloading those files either. We haven't really advertised them very well either. So, um,
Right.
okay, Mr. David is asking, do you market your apps? And he said, or do you just throw it on the App Store and see what sticks?
Right. The Woodstock app is the only one that I've had a chance to market, really. The Woodstock one, yes, I am marketing frantically. I'm just going to get a leaflet. I've printed out 500 leaflets. I know it's not enough for my app around Woodstock. The good thing about Woodstock is that it's a town. Okay, so I only need to market in the town. I don't really need to market anywhere else, which makes my life easier.
Mhm.
I printed out 500 of these, which isn't a lot, but I haven't really run out. So that's the front.
Oh, where'd you get it from? From Vistaprint or? They're nice.
I got this from a local printing company.
Oh, okay.
That's the back there.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a description QR down there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so with the Woodstock app, I am trying to market. This is why I've made so many photoshopped files, because I just kind of send them out to people, see
Mm-hmm.
if they can feature them. Um, so that's where all the graphics that you're seeing are coming from. I spent like a few days making some Photoshop stuff. So um, yeah, and with the Berlitz ones, I basically just ask the my dad's centres, who I know very well, um, to put it on their Facebook page, put it on the notice board. I mean, I'm in there every 2 weeks, and I'm a Facebook admin for them. So when it comes to an update of the app, I can just you know put it on their page for them, or print out a poster like an A5 poster, stick it up on the notice board, and it does work. Also, my dad puts his icon, the icon that you can see in the bottom right. He puts it as a signature on his email, and that helps also get another view. So with the Berlitz ones, it's not because it's only aimed at students. We only need to put it on the Facebook page and put it in the center, and tell future students who are coming over. It's not really used as a marketing tool for my dad's company. It's just used as a
So
thing
Berlitz is your
once.
dad's company, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is, yeah, but
And it's a
it's
teaching.
he's
It's a
got
teaching. It's a language center, so it focuses on teaching languages, or.
yes. My app doesn't teach languages. It basically tells the students where to go. So like pubs, restaurants, attractions, what places you might want to go, because his students, he gets executive students from around the world, and they come from quite a lot of them come from Russia. And they stay for 8 months at a time, so they will want places to go. We give them a A4 information pack. It's like 5 pages long, but who's going to read that? May as well just download the app.
Yeah.
Um, and that's for iPad and iPhone.
Well, you probably need that in Android too, because my experience with Android is that like when you get outside of like the U.S. and like Sandeep would say that and all they have in India is Android. So when you get outside
Yeah,
the U.S., I think you really have to have Android. Just because it's a very expensive device, and not everyone has
yeah.
Western Europe and U.S. There's just more discretionary income for a more expensive device. So you really
The
have to get on
statistics,
Android.
the statistics are just annoying, right? Because I developed for iOS. I've only developed for iOS. I haven't even touched on Android. Well, I have
Mhm.
touched on it, but I haven't done anything with it yet. And I can say that when I look at the statistics, I get very annoyed, because I look at some of the statistics. 63% around the world or something has an Android. 17 have iOS, and I'm outraged by that. But
Mhm.
that's just what I'm gonna have to deal with it. Um, in Britain, it is more iOS based, I have to say. Um, it's when I look around at people with their phones, yeah, you will see Android. I mean, maybe it's just Oxford where I am, but iPhones definitely there's definitely more iPhones than Androids here in Britain,
Yeah.
and I noticed that all around Britain. I go to London, and I just
Yeah.
maybe it's just because iPhone users text all the time or something. I don't know, but they seem to be out and about more often.
Yeah, it depends on where you are too. Like I think on college campuses, you get more of a mix of phones, but then in the workplace, when I was in the corporate world, the top leadership all had iPhones, And then the company would only hook up an iPhone to the email. They would not hook up an Android phone. But then staff that were at lower levels had all different devices. Some had iPhones, and but they're more likely to look for what they get for free. So they were
Yeah.
starting to get Android phones too. So it really was a mix. And I've been out of the corporate world for a year now, so it's probably more Android now, but than it was. Say, why don't you show us around your website, and we'll get that on the capture on the video then too,
Right. Okay.
and then show us your new Facebook page. One thing with Tom,
The Facebook
not to
page
not to
isn't
speak
new,
for you,
by the
but
way.
you have a very strong focus on artwork, Thomas.
The Facebook page isn't new. It's been out for a long time now.
Oh, you only
Um,
had like 3 friends on there, so it's a good thing.
I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just haven't invited people over. So my website is called annandaleapps.com, all one word. This is it. Let me zoom in a little bit. So yeah, this is the home page.
Oh, we're not there yet. What we're seeing is behind. There you are. Now we see it.
All right, okay. So you're seeing it slightly behind us,
Yeah.
or me. So there it is. The
That's very, very
the
professional.
thank you very much.
What do you use to make your websites?
When I started off, I just used iWeb, and that was awful.
Oh, me too.
Um, um, that was pretty. It's okay. It just doesn't have the ability to go further with it.
Yeah.
What I basically did, I used this program. Oh, I've forgotten what it is. It's an Adobe program. It's
Dreamweaver?
not. No, it's not Dreamweaver. It's the one below it. Um, oh, what is it called? God, I can't remember. Um, uh, yeah, it's. Oh, what is it called? I really can't remember now.
It's not Dreamweaver? What else do they have?
No, no, it's not Dreamweaver. It's not a Creative
It's
Suite
not
one.
Flash, is it?
No. I'm just trying to look on the. I somehow it kind of got deleted because it's got quite old, and when it's kind of odd. I used something, and now I've deleted it because it got really old. Um, and some of the stuff aren't up to date these days. But yeah, the name has really blown me. Um,
Hmm.
but it's similar to iWeb, let's say.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, your artwork is like first class. All the slideshows. If you haven't been to one of the Oxford UK meetups, there's always
oh yeah.
really good. There's always a really nice, very professional slideshow that goes with it. And you saw the artwork that he's showing us on the slideshow too. Oh, that's really classy. That's nice. Geez, that's really good. A new question here. What are your future plans?
Right. Okay. It depends what you mean by future plans. Within apps, I hope to kind of extend Woodstock one that I've got and go to other towns that haven't got apps and make apps for them. It won't be as easy as Woodstock because I live in Woodstock, so that's it's easy to do, just pop an afternoon there. But so that'll be the plans in terms of sort of my apps. Um, there's I've been given an opportunity again by the same guys who want to buy my Woodstock app to work with them, and they deal with some really big apps. I'm not sure where that will take me because that you know, the stuff that they're doing is completely it blows BuzzTouch out of the water. I'm afraid it's you know, they're talking about making an app for the Ministry of Defense. You know, government people, stuff like that. So I'm not sure that will take me. I've been kind of given this opportunity by them to extend the university app, which I could do on BuzzTouch quite easily. But with my studies, I'm studying programming, or more computing, stuff like that. I mean, I know it sounds kind of sad for me to say it, but my future plans are to kind of break away from BuzzTouch in a way. I know it sounds really sad, but you know, to get into the more kind of professional place, I need to start learning how to build apps. Or well, first of all, I don't believe that apps are going to last forever. So I think you know, there's going to be some kind of new media in the next 10 years or something. So I think that's, you know, I kind of need to be ahead of the game. In terms of future plans, as in like what I'm going to do after university, I've got no idea. I want to get something in IT.
At 14, you're just too young to make too much of a plan. In fact, you should not make a plan till you're
Exactly.
about
Exactly.
20 and you get a few years of college, and that's when you should kind of lock in your plan. Yeah, just don't lock in, but you know, it's really exciting what you could do. But why don't you make plugins as your next as when you have to learn code? That way, you're still in the BuzzTouch
That's my
world.
next thing. Yeah, I'm looking at that. It's just that I'm building apps at the moment.
Yeah,
Um, the building the app isn't the problem for me. It's actually the designing the app.
yeah,
Um, so that's where my problem comes in.
yeah. I want to make
Um,
some I want to make some video game apps or get some plugins that actually do more functions, more
mm,
kind of more, not just the content app, but get BuzzTouch a little bit away from content apps. So I hope to do that. I don't know when, but I have a lot to learn. There's a lot to do.
yeah, yeah. That sounds good.
Okay. Oh, there's a long
Uh,
question in here from Mr. David. When you do meetups
right.
in the UK, how do they do in terms of attendance and productivity? Have you met cool people and have you learned anything from them? Have your meetups given you any long-term connections or friends? And how do your meetups work?
Right. Okay.
Long,
Right. What was the first question in that kind of the very first bit? Because I'll just answer it in kind of systematically. Susan, could you repeat that? Uh, Actually, just a second. Um, so what was it? Right. Um, right. Okay. So in terms of attendance, that is pretty shoddy actually. I'll be honest. It's I in the 8 meets I've had, two each time. I've never had more than two. I mean, I've never had one, but I've never had three. So it's been two each time. It's two different people. There's most of them go once or twice, but there's two different people. So yeah, I've got about 10 people who have maybe attended, but in terms of attendees per meet, there's only 2 people, including well, and then there's myself. So there's 3 people in the actual meet.
yeah.
Productivity. Yeah, it's our meet is kind of like a chat thing, um, which I'm gonna try and split away from because it's a nice chat. Yeah, you do get to know other people's stories, app stories, whatever. But it's a chat, and you could have a chat on the internet. So, um, I just on Tuesday went to London, down for the day to help out a user on his app who had attended my meets 3 times. So I thought, well, I'll return the favour, go to London for the day. I quite really like London. You know, tapped away on his MacBook, got his things sorted out. He was a happy fella. And so I want to make that more what my meets are, where people bring their MacBook along, we have a chat, tap away on some things, then they get their issues sorted out, and that's that. Which isn't really happening, I've noticed. We're having nice chats, but nobody's got their laptop out and said, right, here's my problem. They just kind of ask Kitsy or something like that. What should we do, maybe? And then it kind of goes into a chat. So productivity, I think, could be improved, and I'm planning on improving it. Met cool people, yes, definitely. I have met really cool people. People that I meet, some are experts, some are newbies, and I kind of fit in the middle. And they've all got a really interesting story. So that's that. Have you learned anything from them? Yes, I've learned a ton from them. In fact, that's kind of how I got some issues fixed with my it's Oxford one, which is, let me just read the notes, because I've got the notes from my previous meets. So my first thing was, I haven't actually read these for a year now. GIF files, can't use GIF files on iOS. That's something that I didn't know until meet one. And they need to be JPEGs or PNGs, stuff like that. So I've learned a lot. Also, I've learned what they know. Even the newbies have got something to teach us. Long-term connection of friends. Yes, I talk to many of them. They've kind of given me friends, and also it enables other people to have friends. I got an email recently when I was contacting another attendee who said, "Yeah, I'm just meeting the guy that you introduced me a few months back. Meeting him in the coffee shop." So, yeah, how do they work? Basically, I say, here's the place, here's my meetup. Come along if you want, and people do. Well, 2 people do. So that's kind of answered your really, really long question, Mr. David.
There's another question in here too about balsamic mock-ups. I've never heard of them, but I'm looking at the website.
No, I've never heard of them.
Oh, you know what that is? Okay, that is cool. And then, well, there's a note in here too that Scott is a teacher. He teaches how to use it. That's pretty cool too. That's really cool.
Okay.
I see that really being good for clients and stuff too. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'll have a look at that, Scott. That sounds interesting.
One thing with BuzzTouch though too is like when I have a meeting with a client, I'll just make the app before I go, so I can kind of show them what their app would look like, and because it's so easy to make an app with BuzzTouch, put it on your iOS device and show them,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that makes sense about that. No, good questions, David. I was gonna say, yeah, David, as a suggestion, is like, spread them out, announce 4 in a year and then 3 months ahead of time. You wonder if people would travel in. I am trying to schedule one in Denver for November. Nad the Vlad will probably be kind of the host for us. He works at Boulder University, and so we'll probably kind of keep it close to there. It's very close to Denver. But we also have Chris down there, and then Shane Doyen, and then another guy called Hefe. So we have quite a number of people. And then David said he'd fly in if we get it to be fairly big, he'll fly in for it. So I think one of the keys is to try to gather the troops. And then if David could come, the attendance just goes to the roof then too. Now San Diego, that seems to be a really, really good spot for meetups because you get the LA area. And then Mr. David, well, let's plan something for January. I'll be in Phoenix for most of the month of January. And so let's plan one. Let's plan something for in San Diego area, and I'll drive over from Phoenix. It'd be awesome. It's an 8-hour drive for David, so it's not that close to him, but it's within a reasonable driving distance. Yeah, Thomas, we gotta get you here sometime too. But we'll come out there. David will get there first, probably.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I really want to go to you guys. Really want to go to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. So any other questions, guy? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, you did say show them my Facebook page. So I am. Uh,
Oh, you
so
and maybe in case people don't know, show us one more time the slide you made. It was for that logo contest, remember? And then you made that
oh yes,
cool
yes,
thing. Show
okay.
us that and explain that. But that'd be good to have on the video too.
Okay, so you may be able to see now my Facebook page. 5 likes, blimey, that's improved. I had 2 likes this morning. I kind of just thought, right, well, I'm gonna get um people in because I just want likes. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to go and like that, that's facebook.com/AnnandaleApps, all one word. Yeah, it's tricky to spell. ANNANDALEAPPP. Yeah, APPS. Yeah. So yes, my slide. Yeah, my logo thing.
Yeah, Buzz Touch kind of changed his mind on the logo contest, and so I apologize for that. What happened is there was a logo contest, and there were some really good submissions, and then David formed the team, and then people in the team kind of said that we should take a step back and have think about an overall look and not just do a logo. But I think this turned out really cool.
Yeah. So I came up with about 5 ideas.
What
Uh,
did you-
I made about 3. I spent time, proper time on this one. Um, and this one here is the one that I kind of made. Actually, the one inside the white box is actually the one that I made. Um, the kind of the outside of it was just a poster that I sent to Susan.
See my poster here. I have the poster up behind me here.
All right. Yes, we can see
Uh-huh.
that. So
Uh,
yeah, you can see that it's kind of littered with lots of little dots, and you're kind of thinking of what those dots are. Those dots are BuzzTouch icons and people's apps that have been made through BuzzTouch. So quite a lot of data I needed to get in there. I've got about something like 400 people's icons, just their avatars, and about 200, well, less than that, about 150 app icons that they've made. And do you remember, Susan, when you used to have your kind of orange app icon? When you had your orange, your old, sorry, not app icon, avatar icon thing. When you had kind of your orange one, you won't believe how many times that has gone into into that Z. Obviously, I have made them so small that it's not visible because it obviously
Yeah.
there's privacy issues there.
That's true.
So I've made it so you can't actually see any of them. And I just kind of put it into a mosaic maker thing, and it made it. So I've made the text behind it, and then I just put it in a mosaic maker.
Oh, it's really cool, Thomas. It's really cool. That's why I had the poster made because I just thought it was. I think it's really. The poster didn't turn out as good though as the screen because it's not lit up.
I
It
think
looks
the
it looks a
poster.
little dull when it's not lit up. So I was kind of disappointed how the printing came out. But it's
I
cool.
think the poster was actually rather good. When you emailed me saying, "Oh, it doesn't look that great," and so I was kind of disappointed. And then when it came out, I thought, "Oh, actually, that does look quite good."
Oh,
So
it's just it's
I
print
really
instead
appreciate
of
it.
a screen with light. That's why it's different.
Yeah, there is that. I agree. It looks better on the screen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anyway, um,
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Thomas. This has been a lot of
any
fun.
other people?
Anything else you
Any
want to
other
say? Then I'll turn off the recording. We can still talk, but.
last minute?
What's your primary advice for all of us, Thomas?
Pardon?
What's your last words of wisdom for all of us on the recording?
Oh, right. Okay. What was it? I posted it on Facebook a few days ago. It's kind of like a quote that I really love. Everybody has 24 hours a day, the difference between two people is how they use it.
Oh, that's
That's
true.
my favorite quote, and it's kind of stuck with me, which is don't waste your day. You know, it might not be app development, but there's no point sitting on the sofa watching TV all the time, is there? Just do something. Um,
That's good. Good advice.
so I mean, that's obviously to general things. It's not to app development particularly.
Yeah.
So in that kind of sense, it's unrelated to apps.
Oh. Well,
In terms
congratulations,
of apps,
Thomas.
you just
Go
got to
ahead.
put in the time, have the effort to do it.
Mhm.
And that's kind of my advice.
Well, congratulations, Thomas. That's a big accomplishment, and we're very, very proud to have you in the community.